Hey guys, Youth Night is about to start. I'm actually in my office right now editing this week's video, and tonight is a special milestone. This week marks our 25th episode of Youth Night, and we have come a long way in the past 6 months, from starting on my phone to recording and doing live episodes. It has been quite an adventure. I just want to say thank you to all of you who've been along for the ride. Now, I hope that what comes across Youth Night is looking great, but there have definitely been some bumps and bloopers along the way. So I dug out a lot of our old footage, and I want to start off episode number 25 with some of the outtakes that didn't make it onto the screen. Hope you enjoy.
Hey guys, it's Callie. Welcome to Youth Night Live. No.
How am I wording that weird? How'd you say it?
Why am I being like this? I can't think.
Sports or gym class. Maybe it was
I forgot my lines. Number 3, with all the time that you have, you can make... I messed up.
Hi guys, this is Abby again. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, I messed up.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Jacob. I've been intern here. I don't want to say that.
You have to... Wait, cut this out. So...
I don't know why I just freeze. Why are we starting this again?
where we are at.
Hey guys, Gretchen here. My two truths and a lie. Two truths? How do we say that?
Sometime later, the cupboard. Okay. I knew I was gonna say it wrong.
Ready for it? We're gonna be discussing, oh my word, I'm messing up. Anyways, discussing family matters in the spiritual and church family, as well as the biological family. Just cut this part a little bit. I'm gonna re-say it.
So, on to you, Josh.
Then just reading the usual manual. And they live happily. And they live happily ever. Happily? I cannot say this word.
Okay, I got it. Don't stop talking. I don't want to forget. Okay.
Hey guys, as you can tell, our makeup department was out today, so I'm looking a little ugly. But anyways, this internet coming live to you from a cave deep in China.
Oh my gosh.
You can make a blooper reel of these. That'd be pretty entertaining. Well, hello, welcome to Youth Night, episode 25. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're so glad you have joined us for our great night ahead. Hey, if you are watching right now, just say hi in the chat. We would love to connect with you there. As we get started tonight, let's go over a couple announcements. Here we go. As always, we would love for you to like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Really helps us get this out there. And as well, you can follow our middle school and high school Instagram accounts and follow along with all the great things happening over there. If you are in middle school, we have an incredible event coming up November 14th called Growth Getaway. This is a one-day fall retreat happening up at Camp Tadmore with tons of fun games, activities, message worship, group time, all in a fun 90s party theme. So get your 90s gear ready, get signed up, and we will see you at Growth Getaway November 14th. If you're watching online right now, thanks so much for tuning in. We would love just 5 seconds of your time to fill out a short survey to let us know that you tuned in and to help us connect better with you. So check out that link that's in the chat right now, fill it out, and thanks for being here with us tonight. We are in the middle of a series called Family Matters. And with everyone spending a lot more time at home recently, we know that family and family drama is a huge part of our lives. So we want to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of family, as well as what the Bible has to say. And we would love for you to follow this series during the week and not just on Sundays. You can follow our Bible reading plan in the YouVersion Bible app. Search for Family Matters under the reading plans and start reading it by yourself or with a friend. All right, here's what's next. It's game time, and tonight, since we are in a series called Family Matters, we're going to play a fun, simple game called Are They Family? We're going to show you a picture of two celebrities on the screen. You just have to guess, are they family? Guess yes or no. We're going to bring a few of the church staff into the studio to play along, so see if you can beat them. Let's get started.
No. Wow, okay, that's quite the connection.
No. Not family. Yes. No. Wait, yes?
Is this being filmed right now? Oh Lord, okay. I mean, yeah, probably. Yes, I'd like to confirm that. As they're both of British descent, I'm just gonna loop them in a box. Oh yeah, I knew that. 8th cousins. See, it makes sense because when you look at their teeth, they're not that great, so you can just tell they're related.
No. Okay. Is that it?
Go Beavs.
I don't know if I'm going to say that they are related in some distant fashion. I was wrong.
No. Wow. It's in the mustache.
You've never made. I'm still sad I deleted that before I made one with you. feel like I should know this. Yes? Ah, yes! I knew it. Knew that.
They are not related. No way. Yes! I knew that. I wasn't guessing. I am into pop culture. Okay, now here's the one that's not on your list, and your viewers are going to want to know this. Is Steve Hill related to Faith Hill? Answer, she's my cousin. No kidding. Of course, Faith Hill's not her real name. That's her stage name, and we're not related.
Well, that was Are They Family? Hope you learned something. Hope you beat a couple of our staff. Thanks for playing.
Oh, hey guys, what's up? Intern Nick here. Right when you thought that you had enough content, right when you thought you had the right content, we just came through with some extra super duper special spicy content for you that you're not gonna find anywhere else because no one else is doing this kind of stuff, and there might be a good reason for that. But anyways, we made a special music video for you this week. It is called 6 Feet Apart. So without further ado, roll the tape.
Hey there, baby. It's a smooth Sunday evening, and you are tuned in to the non-stop station of airwave domination, 202.5 The Annex.
I see you standing there.
You're looking good.
Looking like a piece of art.
That's Mona Lisa.
I tell myself beware.
Oh snap.
Oh, be still my beating heart.
Thump, 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 thump.
I love the way your hair
It's luscious.
looks like you go to great lengths.
I know you frugal.
But when you turned and saw my stare,
Oh hey.
you held up the number 6.
Aw.
6 feet apart, baby, 6 feet apart. You're just 2 yards away, but you're always in my heart. 6 feet apart, baby, 6 feet apart. You're just 2 yards away, but you're always in my heart. I don't know just what to do.
Like for real?
Got too many things to ask.
What's your name?
I look up and smile at you.
That's right.
You can see it through my mind.
I'm looking sweaty.
I can't take it anymore.
Like I can.
How I long to bump your fist, but when I step right through the door, everyone held up a 6 feet apart, baby, 6 feet apart. You're just 2 yards away, but you're always in my heart. 6 feet apart, baby, 6 feet apart. You're just 2 yards away, but you're always in my heart.
And that's it, baby. Even though all I want is to be near you, I have to push you away for medical reasons. But just know that I still feel the same about you. And I hope that you feel the same about me. Anyways, let's get back to Josh, and thank you once again for tuning into 202.5 The Annex.
Ladies and gentlemen, the undisputed champion of the world in the right side of the ring. Here he comes. Now, if you recognize that introduction and you recognize that song, then you're a lot like me, because I loved the WWE and I loved John Cena as a kid. He was one of my heroes. He was a huge dude, body slamming people off of like high ropes, jumping into tables, picking up chairs that you saw in a cafeteria for a school assembly and just whacking people with it. And I thought it was amazing. I loved everything about the WWE. I loved Rey Mysterio. I loved The Big Show. I loved playing the video games. I loved watching the matches. Just everything about it was so fun, so exciting to me. And it was one of my favorite things. And it took years later down the road, when I had matured, when I had grown up a bit, when I had more knowledge and understanding of how the world works, that I realized that WWE is fake. Now, this might be a letdown for you too if you didn't know this already, but I was just shaken to the core. I was broken. I couldn't believe that I had been duped, that I had this perfect image of the WWE and everything that it was, and that all of that was just a farce. It was just for show. And similarly to that, I also found a sort of parallel trend in my family life. Because growing up, I always thought my parents were the best. I thought my family was perfect and amazing and healthy, all of those things and so much more. But when I started growing up and I started seeing the inner workings of my family and my parents' marriage, I started to realize that some things just aren't as perfect as they seem. And maybe you're like me. Maybe you've seen the inner workings of your family. Maybe there's some things going on, some issues that are impacting you, impacting your parents, your siblings, and you just notice that something is not right, something isn't perfect, and your family can't be held to the same standard that maybe you had when you were a child. And so because of that, we just have to acknowledge that every family and our own family has fractures. Whether we want to admit it or not, all of our families have fractures. And if we all wanted to tell a story of some way or another that our family is broken, we could probably all sit around and do that for days. Because it's just true. It's a part of reality. And there's 3 ways that fracturing really manifests in our families. The first way is constant tension. Maybe when you're at home, there's just an unspoken tension in the room whenever your parents are around each other, whenever you're there. Just a feeling like not all is well, not all is at peace. There doesn't necessarily have to be yelling or shouting or violence, but maybe it's just that when you're at home, you don't really feel as safe, you don't feel relaxed and comfortable as you should when you are at home with the family that loves you and the people that care about you the most. And that can be unsettling. The next thing, number 2, is secrets. Maybe you found out something about a legal issue, a lie that you were told, something that was just kept behind your back by your parents or maybe other people in your family, and that's really hurt you. And you feel like you haven't really been let in and trusted in that way. Or you feel like you don't really know who your family is anymore. And so how do you know when to trust these people and how to renew that sort of relationship with them if you feel like your trust has been broken at the base boundary? And third, every family has some sort of fracture. Maybe it was a divorce or a relationship that happened after a divorce, or just something that happened that really caused a divide between members of your family, or maybe your family and you. And it's things that are sometimes out of our control and we don't really know what to do. But all 3 of these, the constant tension, secrets, and fractures, they all play a significant role in how we feel towards our family. And a lot of the time it causes us to not feel so great about them or towards them. Because these 3 things are true, it's hard for us to face family sometimes. And in our mind, we always have this ideal family that's perfect and loving and where we're supported and taken care of. But the fact of reality is that we have a real family. And real families are not perfect. Real families make mistakes. Real families hurt each other. And that's just something that's unavoidable. And because of that reality, there's usually two responses on our part. Number one, you either count your family out, or number two, you count yourself out. So number one, you count your family out. And what that usually looks like is maybe your parents got divorced and you don't really feel like you respect them anymore. You've seen the way that they're treating each other and you just can't get behind it. Or maybe your parent lied to you, they said something that was misleading, and you just feel like you've been betrayed and you feel like you can't trust them. And the second response of counting yourself out is maybe because of all of those three things that are affecting your family, that you start to isolate yourself. You aren't as engaged anymore. You don't talk as much. You don't feel open and free like you used to be because you feel the weight of what's happening in your family and the brokenness of that. And that can be really hard, and that can be really difficult. And because of all of these things, a lot of us feel a pull away from our family, that we kind of want to get out of the situation. We want to leave. We want to be independent. I mean, how is it fair to us that our parents or our family are causing these issues and these stresses on us when they're the ones who are supposed to be leading by example? They're the ones supposed to be holding the family together and doing that, protecting us. Well, although all of these things are hard, there is a simple solution, and we find it in the Bible. Believe it or not, within the Bible, there are countless examples of dysfunctional families. And the beautiful thing about that is that God didn't write off any of those families. He stuck with them and provided for them even when they were broken and things were going haywire. So, a prime example of this is a very famous man in the Bible named Abraham. Now, Abraham was told by God that he would be the leader of a great and prosperous nation, that his lineage would go on to be great. But in order for that to happen, Abraham had to have a son. And so he had a son named Isaac, and Isaac had two sons, Esau and Jacob. Now, these two boys could not be any more different. Esau was your kind of athletic stud sort of guy. You know, he was out doing the hunting, just outside, active, doing those kinds of things. And Jacob, on the other hand, was more of an artistic person, more of someone who is more intellectually gifted, not so much the guy doing the brawny work and breaking his back outside, but he was lounging around inside and increasing his intelligence. So, one day, Esau comes back in from being outside, running around, working really hard, and he smells some stew. And it smells absolutely delicious. And in these days, one of the most important things that someone could have was called a birthright. And now since Esau was the oldest son, he immediately was qualified for the birthright. And that just meant that when his father passed away, that he would be getting double the amount of money, that he would be getting power and privileges, and that he would be the new head of the family. So the birthright was extremely important in the culture. But Jacob knew this, and Jacob wanted to take advantage of his intelligence and kind of outwit his brother. So when Esau came in and he was hungry and he smelled that stew and said, "Oh my gosh, I have to have some of it," Jacob had ulterior motives, and he decided to take the opportunity. In Genesis chapter 25, verses 27 through 34, we read that the boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents. Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Once, when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came in from the open country, famished. He said to Jacob, "Quick, let me have some of that red stew. I'm famished." Jacob replied, "First sell me your birthright." "Look, I'm about to die," Esau said. "What good is the birthright to me?" But Jacob said, "Swear to me first." So he swore an oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and some lentil stew. He ate and drank, and then got up and left. So Esau despised his birthright. Now when we read this story, we can immediately see the classic sibling rivalry that's going on here. And even though this was years and years and years ago, we can see modern versions of this play out today in our own lives. And what ended up happening in this story was that when their father passed away, Jacob did get the birthright. And Esau was infuriated, and he didn't really know how to respond. He didn't know how to approach the situation, so he just decided he was going to kill Jacob and get back what was rightfully his. So this resulted in Jacob fleeing for his life, and it just kept spiraling out of control. It was an ugly mess of a situation. But even though this family was so dysfunctional, with betrayal and deceit and greed, God still managed to find a way to use them and redeem their story anyways. Not only did God use this family, but also in Hebrews in the New Testament, this story is called back upon as a celebration of faith, which means that it's supposed to be an illustration of what God wants us to see family as, what heaven is going to look like. And that's a beautiful thing. Hebrews 11 says, by faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau in regard to their future. Now, the beauty of the story is this. It's not that we should follow the model of Jacob and Esau, that we should be deceiving, that we should be conniving, we should be trying to steal from others and gain for our own personal interests. But the beauty of the story is that it provides an opportunity for God to come in and redeem the situation. And that's all God wants, is to just be let in. He can mend anything. There's no family situation that is too bad for him to remedy. There's no struggles, there's no fractures that are too big for him to bring back together, for him to mend and make whole. And there's no one that God cannot bring back whole into a story. So even if you're counting someone out, or you're counting yourself out, just know that God is there for you. And He's ready to remedy the situation. He's ready to fix the problems that you have with your family. He's ready to help you have the strength to say the things that you need to say in order to protect yourself and bring healing to your family. Basically, God is never done. There's no family situation or hurt that is too big for Him. And He is always looking to restore us and help our families, because He knows that they are the basis of meaning in our lives in a lot of ways, and very crucial. So God never gives up on us or our families. So no matter what you're experiencing in your family, if you feel like you're going through some minor struggles or some major struggles, just know that God's not done with you. He's not done with your situation. All of the things that you see that are broken, they can be changed by God. Because the bottom line is this: family matters even when it's fractured. And everyone in our families has some sort of fracture. Everyone has a weakness. Everyone has made mistakes and hurt others. And we can't avoid that, but God is good enough and big enough to use us through that and bring us through those dark parts. So, when you're ready to count out someone in your family, just don't. It's not worth it. And when you feel hurt by your family, don't count yourself out. If you're in the middle of a conflict, then don't isolate. Pulling yourself out of the situation doesn't remedy the situation. Now, within that, I'm not saying to be passive or to allow yourself to be hurt or abused, physically or mentally. But what I'm trying to say is that when you feel like you want to isolate, you want to walk away, just don't do it. God has so much more in store for you if you're faithful and you are able to forgive. Because ultimately, every family and every person is broken and fractured in some way. And if you remove yourself from that situation, you try to isolate or distance yourself, then you could miss out on what God has planned in your family and what He wants to do through you. What God does the best, what He is the most amazing at, is fixing dysfunction and doing things with people that are broken. And He isn't called the miracle worker, the great healer, for no reason. He does his job, and he is faithful to those who believe in him. And sometimes it's just as simple as a change of mindset, a change of perspective when you're approaching your family, when you're addressing your family. So what if we went home today and instead of being hurt by our family, feeling offended by them, by trying to isolate ourselves, what if instead we engaged and we treated our family like family matters, and we treated them with love and respect and dignity? Being that force of light into your family can only do wonderful things. Because if one person is strong enough to stand up and let God use them, then that opens the door for God to come into the family and work in and through the rest of the family members. So even if you're feeling down, even if you have hard things going on at home, insurmountable things that you just feel like you have no ability to impact or change, just know that you don't have to rely on yourself. It's not all on you, but that if you have faith in God, He can work through you and He can do something bigger in your situation than you can even imagine. So as we transition to small groups, I just want you to remember, don't count out your family and don't count out yourself, because God has something big in His plans and in His will for your life and for your family.
Well, thank you, Intern Nick, for that incredible message. And when it comes to family and tension, we don't have to wait long for that to come up in our everyday lives. In fact, I'm sure as soon as you turn off this video, many of you will be faced with family drama and tension right away. And definitely as we go through our week, it is something that we all will deal with. So, I encourage you to take up Nick's challenge, to believe that family matters, and when it comes to tension in families, to never count yourself or a family member out. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Hope you have a great, blessed week. You and your family have a great week. This is Josh signing out. Bye, buddies.